Well, good evening, everyone. I'd like to welcome you to the 2023 Greater Buffalo Sports Hall of Fame Induction Dinner. Please take your seats at this time. We're going to get things started here very soon. The Greater Buffalo Sports Hall of Fame trophy is being brought to the stage, and we are ready to begin. I've always wanted to ask John Boutte if he buys his white gloves at the same place those Stanley Cup guys get them from. Apparently that's the case. Well, we would like to have everyone please rise for the presentation of the colors by the Erie County Sheriff Honor Guard. I would like to introduce Judy Caserta to sing our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Still got it, Judy.
I didn't embarrass you.
Please remain standing while the colors are retired. Father Richard Zajac, Sisters Hospital Chaplain and Western New York Baseball Hall of Famer, will now deliver the invocation.
Let's all bow our heads in prayer. Loving God, we're honoring tonight tremendous athletes who graced and thrilled the Western New York community with their skills and their talents. Particularly Eddie Malinovich, Drake Francesconi, Bobby Chandler, Bud Blakewell, Dave Wollabow, Adam Page, Otto Wharf, Eric Moles, Jerry Meehan, Karen Hahn Raybaum, Santo DeSain, and Cheryl Bailey. We're grateful for their magnificence, which electrified us, their accomplishments that thrilled us, their incredible feats that astounded us, not to mention the wonderful memories which they generated and which we still call to mind with smiles and delight. In honoring them, Lord, we'd be remiss not to give thanks for their coaches, their parents, their siblings, their spouses, their fellow teammates, their trainers, the school officials, without whom they never could have achieved the success that warranted tonight's honor. We're grateful as well for those often overlooked when it comes to the production of greatness, those upon whose shoulders our inductees happen to have stood, those whose work behind the scenes made what they did possible, those who from the world beyond served as their inspiration. And Lord, we're also honoring the Plant 6 softball team and their distinguished accomplishments, as well as Dennis DiPaolo for all the great things he's done for high school sports over these many years. Thank you for them, and thank you for all those who are honoring tonight. As we're about to partake of the food that we will soon enjoy, we're grateful for those who prepared it, those who will serve it. We're grateful as well for the conversations and stories we've enjoyed and will continue to enjoy throughout this night. And we give a shout out to those responsible for making this a wonderful occasion. And when this night is over and we go our separate ways, we pray, Lord, that you always keep us in your baseline when it comes to our path through life, that we may never get suckered in by one of the curveballs the devil likes to throw, that we never miss a base when it comes to the thanks we need to provide for the extra base hit which you've been good enough to bestow upon our life. May we never be too proud to bunt when it comes to furthering the well-being of another, or too afraid to get hit by a pitch that means helping the team we happen to be on. All this we pray to you, loving God, who lives and reigns forever and ever. Amen.
That was a grand slam of an invocation there. Well done. Okay, everyone can be seated now. Just want to let everybody know that the silent auction is going to close at 7:30, and that auction can be accessed using your smartphone and the QR codes on the tent cards on your tables. You can also purchase raffle tickets from the volunteers making their way around the room. So if you've put a bid in on that silent auction, keep an eye on it. It's going to close in about 20 minutes. Go ahead and please begin enjoying your meal as we get our program started. It is my pleasure to introduce to you the president of the Greater Buffalo Sports Hall of Fame, John Maddock.
Thank you, Paul. On behalf of the 45 active and honorary members of our board of directors, it's a privilege to welcome our inductees, their families and friends, and the remaining audience to our 33rd annual dinner and auction. I've been a member of the board for many years, and each time we induct a class, we marvel at the world-class talent that sits at the head table. This year is no exception. Before we get our evening underway, I would like to recognize a few folks who are in the audience and make a major announcement concerning the Hall of Fame and one of our sponsors. To the staff of the Buffalo Convention Center, thanks for servicing nearly 700 guests so effortlessly. To Reed Rankin and his staff, who every year put on a first-class production. Encore Golf for contributing to the Amateur Sports Development Fund through sales of the Ryan Miller golf ball. And sitting at table 24, our good friends from KeyBank. They have been a primary sponsor for several years, and I want to personally thank them for their support. Let's give them all a big round of applause. Our presenting sponsor, once again, is Dave and Adam's Card World. Representing them at Table 3 are Chief Financial Officer Ian Martin, Vice President of Project Management Alex Nadiak, and Director of Projects Jim Stoffager. Gentlemen, please stand for this exciting announcement. As many of you know, the Hall of Fame has been seeking a permanent home for several years. That quest has now been answered, as we are proud to announce this evening that our permanent display will be housed at Dave and Adams beginning in 2024. Dave and Adams will be dedicating 10,000 square feet inside their large retail store on Sheridan Drive near Transit. The Hall of Fame display case will be 48 feet long by 8 feet that will hold memorabilia from all of the inductees. That area will also feature the old Brookfield Country Club bar and be able to host events such as autograph signings for Bills, Sabres, and other pro athletes. I want to thank board members Mark State and John Boutte for making this happen, and we are excited to be joining forces with Dave and Adam's Card World. You can look for an official announcement in a couple of months. We so much appreciate the commitment Dave and Adams has made to our organization. Please give them a huge round of applause. Dave and Adams is just one of 40 sponsors and advertisers supporting tonight's event. The full list is on the inside front cover of your program. Next, our board is an active one with everybody contributing. Would all of our board members please stand and be recognized? All of our board members, please stand. Everybody puts in a great amount of work to this event. I want to thank them all very much. And I would also ask, as they sit down, that Ann Brooker remain standing. Ann brings energy, integrity, and knowledge to this event. We cannot do it without her. A big round of applause for Ann Brooker towards the back here. Our primary focus this evening is on the men, women, and team being recognized. However, we also value our Amateur Sports Development Fund and all the good it has done for the community. The fund awards amateur athletes, teams, and organizations seeking financial assistance. Over $230,000 has been raised since 1991. Proceeds from tonight's event go directly into that fund, and all of you can make the difference in a child's sporting ambitions by making a small donation this evening. There is information on your table and in the program on how to do so. This year, the board has awarded $15,000 to the following recipients: Alden Youth Baseball, Buffalo Public School number 18, Beautiful Basketball LLC, Swimkin Synchronized Swimming, Youth Sports Alliance, and University District Community Development Association. Congratulations to all those groups, and once again to our inductees. Enjoy the remainder of your evening.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, as you continue to eat your dinners, don't forget to check the auction items that you have bid on. This is the last call to purchase raffle tickets and for the sports memorabilia auction, which will close in, well, we might give you another minute or two on that one before it closes. So continue to please keep enjoying your dinners, and we are going to continue to roll on with our program. I would like to ask our Greater Buffalo Sports Hall of Fame board members to assist in assembling the Hall of Fame members to the left of our stage. Well, as we get our Hall of Famers together, and we have the always exciting part of our program where we get to honor the past Hall of Famers that are here today, we do want to continue to move on with our program. And over the past year, we have said goodbye to some very long-time friends and members of the Greater Buffalo Sports Hall of Fame. Among those that we have lost this past year, Al B. Miller, Joe Foyle, Al Stump, Don Reinhout, Dorothy Sowers, and of course, Rick Jenneret. At this time, I would ask everyone here to please join me in a moment of silence. Thank you very much. Well, while we show our respect for those who have passed with a moment of silence, it didn't seem right to have only a moment of silence for the one guy that we always want to give the last word to, and that is Rick Jenneret.
Hello, Suki scores! Oh, Gilbert Burrow! La 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 Fontaine from Alexander McGillney! Alexander McGillney! Who says this guy is afraid to fly? He left a vapor trail! 'Tis the season! La 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 Fontaine! Scary good!
Well, I'll tell you how much I appreciate your beautiful noise. I would say this to you. I have only 3 words, just 3. I love you.
Once again, we would like all of the past Hall of Fame inductees that are here tonight to begin to make their way up to this side of the stage, because we're going to give you a chance to be honored as well, too. So if all of those past inductees can start to make their way over to that corner. The Dick Gallagher Memorial Award was created to honor the legacy of one of the most amazing individuals to ever be a part of the Western New York community. Here to present the award is Greater Buffalo Sports Hall of Fame board member and president of the NFADA, Paul Stasiak.
Thank you and welcome. Anybody in this room who knew Dick Gallagher would tell you very easily that he was so humbled and he hated recognition. But today, he'd be extremely appreciative, because we take the privilege as a board to honor many others who have the same values, commitment, dedication to their youth, particularly in sports in Western New York. Dick was a simple man. He was always believed in all that we can do for the good of the kids, for the good of our sports athletes, for the good of our community. So on behalf of the Greater Buffalo Sports Hall of Fame, our Dick Gallagher Legacy Committee, and the Gallagher family, we are extremely pleased to welcome and recognize this year's recipient honor, Dennis DiPaolo.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Paul. As we all know, Dick Gallagher was a remarkable man. What he personally accomplished was just amazing. The founding of Kids Escaping Drugs, Renaissance House, hosting a banquet of over 800 people every year for the student athletes. He was just amazing. In fact, he knew every high school student in Western New York. When we would sit, he was just an awesome person. But unlike Dick, I couldn't do anything alone. Bud Carpenter, founder and president of the Ilya DiPaolo Scholarship Fund, which Dick Gallagher was an original board member for, was instrumental in raising $1.2 million back into our community through charitable contributions and scholarships to our student athletes. My son Ilya, representing my family, Ilya DiPaolo's restaurant, and the thousands of followers that support us every year and continue to keep Ilya DiPaolo successful so we can contribute back into the community. And we're grateful for that. And on behalf of all of us, I'd like to thank the Greater Buffalo Sports Hall of Fame for recognizing us in the name of Dick Gallagher. We are very humbled and grateful for this honor. Thank you very much.
Well, it does take a lot of time, effort, and resources to produce this event, and we'd like to take a moment to thank our remaining sponsors for their support. In addition to Dave and Adams Card World and KeyBank, as John Maddock mentioned, our sustaining sponsors for this event are Niagara Scenic Tours and CTBK. Our valet parking sponsor is Town Automotive, and our home team sponsors are Sinatra and Company, Ilya DiPaolo's, and PCA. And of course, thanks to Encore Golf for being here at our event tonight and for bringing the Ryan Miller golf balls. Well, we've got a good crowd of Hall of Famers over there in that direction. A lot of them are here to be a part of our event tonight, and we would like to recognize and introduce them. And to do that, we turn it over to board member and the voice of Salem Field, Tom Burns.
Thank you very much, Paul Peck. How about a round of applause for Paul Peck and all of our inductees tonight? It's my pleasure to introduce our former inductees, current members of our Hall of Fame. Please welcome from the class of 2005, Wally Huckno from Jamestown football. Needs no introduction. Say it with me, Don Lose. This guy is in the Hall of Fame, but his girls' Iroquois team is going to play in the state championship in field hockey. We're going to try and win. They're going to play in the championship coming up. Pete Tonseline. You know her, you love her from the class of 1999 like Prince, Yvette Angel. The Batman, Jim Lorenz, ladies and gentlemen. How about Len Jankowicz from the class of 2019? Sal Biscaglia from the class of 2016, great basketball coach. How about a star in softball and golf from the class of 2012, Kim Call? Sure. How about Pam Amabile from the class of 2013, another softball standout? How about this guy from a great ECC administrator, good friend of mine. What's your name? Oh, yeah, Ralph Galante. From the, what year were you, Ralph? 2004. Look out, I don't want a hip check. Mike Robitaille. Unbelievable race coordinator and athletic supporter, Jim Nowicki from the class of 2022. Trainer to the stars, Mr. Bud Carpenter from the Buffalo Bills, class of 2016. Doesn't need an introduction, but I'll tell you it's Benji Blumen anyway from the class of 2016. How about Orv Cott, representing the entire Cott family, inducted last year, 2022. Making the green and gold of the Bishop Timon proud, Ricky Williams from the class of 2018. When you have one Williams, you have another. Please welcome Jimmy Williams from the class of 2018. How about Mike Rappel, great Canisius College softball coach from the class of 2015. Not only a great basketball star, but a great youth supporter, Willie Hutch Jones from the class of 2018. And David Rinn, the archery expert from the class of 2005. Ladies and gentlemen, the Greater Buffalo Sports Hall of Fame alumni.
Thank you, Tom. That's a good-looking group up here, isn't it? And I think everybody sitting up on the podium looks down at those guys and goes, I can't wait till next year when I can be with that group and not facing the pressure of sitting up here with a speech to make this year. Hopefully we see everybody back here for next year's class. Well, go ahead and continue to finish off your dinners, and we are going to get our program started in just a couple of minutes. All right, everybody, are we ready to go? I think everybody has been fed. Thank you to the folks here at the Convention Center for an outstanding meal. So we are all ready to get started with our wonderful ceremony tonight. This is your official good evening to everyone, and welcome to a special night on the Buffalo sports calendar. It's the night we open the doors to our hall and welcome in the next collection of legends. On behalf of our presenting sponsors, Dave & Adams and KeyBank, we officially welcome you to the 33rd Annual Greater Buffalo Sports Hall of Fame Induction Ceremony. Well, my name is Paul Peck, sportscaster and voice of the UB Bulls. I'll be your master of ceremonies here tonight. Sports is such a big part of our culture and our community. It's why we feel good the next morning and sometimes not so good, but always happy that we live in a city that cares so much. The players, coaches, and leaders are the ones who make up the teams that drive our emotions. Tonight, we'll give the best ones the honor that they so rightfully deserve. This year's class includes players, coaches, players who coached, coaches who inspired, and inspirations to everyone. So let's officially meet this year's class. With a lifetime of service to our community college, he spells cats with a K, owner of 2 softball national titles and 6 women's basketball crowns. He makes ECC stand for Erie's Championship Coach. Getting set to enter his 5th different Hall of Fame, please welcome Santo Desane. As a center, life's always been a snap for our next Hall of Famer. From Frontier High School to Syracuse University to the NFL, his view may have always been upside down, but this honor is clearly in focus. Say hello to Dave Wollabaugh. An original Sabre and a Sabre original who went from the ice to the front office. He played for Imlock, worked for Bowman, drafted McGillney, and traded for Hashik. And now he's in that Hall of Fame club. It's former captain and GM Jerry Meehan. Keeping our trend going, the next Hall of Famer went from all-time great player to all-time great coach. That Main Street magic made her among the greatest of the Golden Griffins. A Canisius University basketball legend, it's Kara Hahn Raybaum. Please welcome the president of the Greater Buffalo Sports Hall of Fame, John Maddock. A birth defect didn't slow him down, neither did 10 surgeries. No international sled hockey team could either. This Buffalonian is a gold medal winner and an inspirational champion. Let's give it up for Adam Page. E for explosive, E for energetic, E for excellent. This E is still second on the Bills' all-time list in catches, yards, and touchdowns. This E is E. Molds, Eric Molds. Every girl who plays sports, from the fields of her native Jamestown to the courts of the NCAA tournament to the stadiums of the World Cup, can thank this lady for helping grow women's sports all over the world. Coach and administrator Cheryl Bailey. He has the O's in his name, and he put plenty of those goose eggs on the opponent's scoreboard as one of indoor soccer's all-time great goalkeepers. Shut out no more with 0 minutes to wait. It's Hall of Famer Otto Orff. Eight amazing individuals, 4 posthumous honorees, and 1 team of distinction make up the 2023 class of the Greater Buffalo Sports Hall of Fame. All right, let's get it started. For the 4th time in the Hall's history, we'll honor a team of distinction. Named after a factory, they assembled the greatest team in Buffalo history. Finally, their slow pitch to the committee worked as we honor the Plant 6 softball team.
In 1978, in the back room of a restaurant, the Plant 6 softball organization was born by combining the Tontine and locker room softball teams. Art Cargan and Benji Blumen were instrumental in getting the 2 teams together, and over the next 30 years, Plant 6 never missed a season of competition. In their very first campaign, Plant 6 captured a Buffalo record of 8 of the 14 tournaments they entered. Blumen, along with Rick Evans, Tom Dryja, and Bill Tepas, were all Western New York All-Stars that first season, and Cargan was selected as Manager of the Year. After a few seasons of playing, Plant 6 won the City of Buffalo's Softball League 3 years in a row. Over the 30-year period the team competed, they participated in 450 tournaments and won 208. The commitment to be part of Plant 6 was enormous, as the team played in 15 to 20 tournaments a year, with most of those outside of the Western New York area. Over the years, they competed in 13 states and Canada. In all, the team had close to 100 men wear the Plant 6 uniform. Most notable was Dave Neiman, who was with the organization from the very beginning to the very end. Many of the Plant 6 players were high school, college, and minor league baseball players. Their players were consistently MVPs of the tournaments they entered, and many of the players would make the All-American team in state and national tournaments. Plant 6 played in Canada many times, and in 1990, they were the Ontario national champs. They won the Marcus Park tournament in Olean 6 years in a row. Over 30 years of play, Plant 6 became synonymous with quality softball play representing Buffalo. Plant 6 is proud to have 25 of its players in the Western New York Softball Hall of Fame, and tonight they are recognized by the Greater Buffalo Sports Hall of Fame as the 2023 Team of Distinction.
In front of the stage is board member Benji Blumen presenting the award to his former Plant 6 teammate Dave Neiman. And I'd like to ask all members of the Plant 6 softball team in the back corner to please stand for a round of applause. Everyone, the Team of Distinction. Our first inductee tonight in the class of 2023 is Otto Orff.
Otto Orff's first experiment with soccer was when, as a sophomore, he tried out to be the goalkeeper for the Iroquois High School team. His experiment worked, and by his senior season, he was the team's most valuable player. His 21-year professional soccer career started when he decided to leave the University at Buffalo to turn pro with the Buffalo Storm of the United Soccer League. Orff played on other pro teams after his season with the Storm before settling in with the professional Cleveland franchise. He was one of the most recognized goalkeepers in the history of pro indoor soccer as part of the Cleveland franchise, winning 3 NPSL championships during his career. Futsal is a modified form of soccer played with 5 players per side on a smaller, typically indoor field, and Orff also competed as a member of the U.S. national futsal team in championship competitions in Guatemala, Costa Rica, and Anaheim, California. He was awarded the 1996 Goalkeeper of the Tournament trophy in Guatemala as the U.S. won the gold medal and qualified for the FIFA Futsal World Cup in Spain. In total, his teams won 4 indoor and 2 outdoor championships and a Confederation of North, Central America, and Caribbean Association Football Futsal title. Orff also founded Heart and Soul Futsal Academy and Hands On Sports Foundation, which brings shoes, balls, equipment, and facilities to underprivileged youth in Northeast Ohio and in at least 12 other countries. Orff was named goalkeeper coach and assistant coach of the U.S. men's futsal national team in 2019. He competed as a player and coach in the 2021 CONCACAF Championship, taking a silver medal to qualify for the 2021 FIFA Futsal World Cup, and competed again as a player coach in the 2021 FIFA Futsal World Cup in Lithuania. Otto Orff, one of the newest members of the Greater Buffalo Sports Hall of Fame.
Sponsoring the induction of Otto Orff is Salen's Sports Park, represented by Aaron Lyons, Vice President of Salen's Sports Park.
Thank you all very much. I'd like to begin by congratulating all of this year's inductees. It's a true honor to be up here with you tonight. Thank you to the board of the Greater Buffalo Sports Hall of Fame, and to my old classmate and teammate and host this evening, Greg Merkel. Thanks to all the family and friends that are here to celebrate with me, and a very special thank you to Aaron, Alex, Joe, and the Salen Sports family. My soccer career has been an unlikely journey at best. I've been fortunate to play and coach in many championships, to even represent my country hand on heart, competing on foreign soil, and participate in a few World Cups. But there's one cup that has meant more to me than any other. I've had it since high school. I carried it with me throughout my career, and I brought it here with me tonight. Without this cup right here, I can honestly tell you that I wouldn't be standing in front of you today. All right, now that that's out of the way. I grew up in Elma. Mom and Dad, it means the world to me that you're both able to be here tonight. Bartlett Road is all I need to say. It was a fairy tale childhood in an amazing neighborhood where we played almost every sport as a kid. Oddly enough, soccer wasn't one of them. I wanted to be like my idols. I wanted to throw like Joe Ferguson and kick like John Leipold. I wanted to catch like Bobby Chandler and make saves like Roger Crozier. By the time I headed off to Iroquois High School, baseball had become my game. But then, as a sophomore, I found soccer. In that very same year, of 1978, professional indoor soccer was born in the United States, and the Buffalo Stallions came to town. I attended as many games at the Odd as I could, and I played every chance I got. I developed a real passion for this new game. We would pack into the car and drive out to Soccer World in North Tonawanda no matter what the weather. Indoor soccer was a perfect fit for me, and I used the skills that I gained as a hockey goalie and a baseball pitcher. They became assets that helped me stand out in the game. A bit ill-prepared at age 17, I went off to college at UB. I took advantage of everything college life had to offer, except for the classes. By the time I was a junior, I was ineligible for varsity sports and on a bit of a downward spiral. It was in that summer of 1984 that soccer actually saved my life. It was my magnificently mulleted friend and the first soccer player inducted into this Hall of Fame, Rudy Pikuzinski, who told me about the tryout for the Buffalo Storm. So I rode my bike from UB to Delaware Park and miraculously made the team. My pro soccer apprenticeship had begun and took place over the next decade. And like Forrest Gump, Bilbo Baggins, and Luke Skywalker, I traveled from place to place, meeting characters who guided me through the good times and the bad. Stoner, rest in peace, Tony Simpkin, Rick Schmidt and Renato D'Annunzio's Rudy and the Creekside Gang, and then my Buffalo Stallion mentors, Eddie Azevedo and Carlito Salguero. These men, whose autographs I had solicited just a few years before, advocated for and believed in me. So I followed them around the continent like a gypsy for the next 6 years. In 1989, I landed in Cleveland, and it was there that I met my beautiful wife-to-be, Marty. We married in '92, which not coincidentally is when I became the starting goalkeeper, and apparently why I went on the best run of my career. With 3 national championships in the next 7 years, the '90s were capped off with the birth of our spectacular daughter, Olivia. So I led a charmed life, and it all started here in Buffalo. I'm a Buffalo boy through and through. It's always blue cheese with my wings and a mighty taco when I'm back in town. I believe the force has always been with me because I've held close the values that I learned here as a kid. I'm fortunate to be working in soccer to this day, and wherever I'm coaching, players get a little taste of old school Buffalo as I do my best to give back to the game that has given me everything. I'll close with something my father told me when I was about 12 years old. He said to me, "Son, people are going to remember your name. You can earn a reputation for doing good things or for doing bad, but either way, they're going to remember that name." Well, Dad, I hope I did you proud, and from this night forward, our name is on that trophy, and we'll be remembered for doing some pretty good things. 00 forever, and I thank you all very much.
I'm glad you remembered to take the cup because I didn't want to touch that thing. 33 years of this hall, I believe that's the first protective device that has been used as a prop. That took a lot of the things it's meant to protect. Otto, well done. Our next inductee in the class of 2023 is Eddie Milanowicz.
Born in Buffalo, New York, Edmund Milanowicz attended Fosdick-Maston High School, now City Honors, and then became a two-sport standout athlete at the University at Buffalo. He was team captain for both the basketball and football teams in 1932. In his 3 seasons with the UB basketball team, he led the Bulls to a 45-4 record. In 1929, as a member of the football team, he had touchdown runs of 95, 80, 73, 55, and 53 yards. He still holds the school record for a 104-yard kickoff return for a touchdown. Following his time at UB, he played in the National Basketball League for the Buffalo Bisons during the 1937 and 38 season and averaged 7.2 points per game. He later served as the head coach for the Rochester Royals from 1945 to 48. His team won the 1945-46 NBL championship. The following 2 years, his squads finished first in the Eastern Division but lost in the championship. He served as an assistant coach for the Royals from 1948 to 51 as the team transitioned from the NBL to the BAA and then the NBA. He was the assistant coach when the Royals captured the NBA championship in a 7-game series win against the New York Knicks. He passed away in 1967 at the age of 56, and tonight, Eddie Milanowicz is forever enshrined in the Greater Buffalo Sports Hall of Fame.
Sponsoring the induction is UB Athletics, represented by Jeremy Applegate, Associate Athletic Director for Development and Premium Seating, and also sponsoring the induction is Wright Beverages. Well, as the voice of the UB Bulls, it is my honor to be part of accepting this honor on the behalf of the Milanowicz family. And, you know, over the years, the Bulls have had some amazing players. Some are in this hall, some will soon to be. But the school record for the longest touchdown run of 95 yards is still held by Eddie Milanowicz. That 95-yard run has been the record for 94 years and counting. Congratulations to Ed and his family. Our next inductee into the class of 2023 is Bud Bakewell.
In today's world of advanced youth hockey programs with the state-of-the-art facilities across the region, it's hard to imagine that a backyard rink became the foundation of the Western New York youth hockey community. Reuben P. Bud Bakewell was born in Glasgow, Scotland, and came as a youngster to Canada, where he learned to play hockey. He moved to Buffalo as a teenager and brought with him his love of hockey. Bakewell served in the Marines during World War II and the Korean War, and following his military service, he worked at the Chevy plant on River Road for more than 40 years. But it was his involvement in youth sports, and particularly hockey, that left an indelible mark in Western New York. In 1958, Bakewell signed his son up to play hockey, and from then on, he was a mainstay at the local rink. He constructed an ice rink in his backyard each year, complete with lights and music, to provide the neighborhood kids a place to play. Bakewell worked tirelessly building a hockey program that promotes and encourages athleticism, physical fitness, sportsmanship, and develops the moral character of young boys and girls throughout Western New York. His work did not go unnoticed. In 1960, he received the GM Award for Excellence in Community Activities and the DeWitt Clinton Masonic Award for Community Service. In 1987, he became the second recipient of the William Thayer Tutt Award, presented by USA Hockey in Colorado Springs in recognition of his efforts to promote hockey at the grassroots level. Bakewell was also the first American named to the Old Timers Hockey News Hall of Fame in Canada. He passed away in 2003 at the age of 83, and tonight, Bud Bakewell is forever enshrined in the Greater Buffalo Sports Hall of Fame.
Sponsoring the induction is Chef's Restaurant, represented by owner Lou Billetier, and accepting on behalf of Bud Bakewell are Bud's daughter Margie Bakewell Franzak and Bud's son Jimmy Bakewell.
Okay, so here's the thing. What you know about my dad is nothing about what he was. He was amazing to everyone. I just want to say thank you to the Sports Hall of Fame, to everybody who is honoring him. I am thrilled at all the other inductees. I can't.
There is one story that everybody wants me to tell. And I kind of feel a little funny about it because I'm in the middle of it. Anyway, my dad always said to people throughout the Riverside, Black Rock area that if you had a child that wanted to play hockey, baseball, or whatever, we had a place for him. So, okay, that sounded really good. So he always ran a used equipment sale. So the day that this was going on, one mother came up to him and said, Mr. Bakewell, are you sure? Do you really mean that anybody that wanted to play could play hockey? And he said, yes. So he said, okay. She told him, she said, I have a son that would love to play the sport, but he's deaf. So he said, don't worry. If he wants to play, you bring him over here, and we will find a team for him. So she said, okay. So he comes home at night, and this was like my second year of ever coaching any kids playing any sport. And he comes up to me and he said, you know, you were short a player. So I said, yeah. He said, well, I got a player for you. He'll be here on Saturday morning. So I said, okay. And he said, oh, by the way, he's deaf. So I kind of looked at him. I said, what am I supposed to do? And he said, you'll figure it out. Well, I will tell you, when that boy came to play, the kids on the team loved him. I told him, I said, he can't really hear what you're saying, but I said, look at him, and he can read your lips, and he will be able to know what you're talking about. Well, I can tell you, we went through the whole league, told all the coaches on the other team, all the referees, that he was deaf. I'm telling you, he turned out to be one of the best players I ever had, and he was loved by every kid on that team. That mother came up to my dad at the end of the year and said, this might have been the best year of his life. And unfortunately, they had to move out of the area. But I love that kid, and that should tell you just what kind of a dad my father really was. Thank you for this award.
Our next Hall of Fame inductee in the class of 2023 is Cheryl Bailey.
A native of Jamestown, Cheryl Bailey ran track because of Title IX as a member of the boys team at Southwestern High School. In 1976, she had her first opportunity to run on the women's team at Slippery Rock University as part of the Rock's record-setting relay team. Bailey graduated from Slippery Rock in 1977 and went on to earn her master's degree from Ohio State in 1983. Bailey joined the athletic department at Denison University in 1979 as the first head women's soccer coach, leading the first women's collegiate varsity program in the state of Ohio. She led the Big Red to a North Coast Athletic Conference championship in 1984 and was a three-time NCAC Coach of the Year. She coached the women's track and field team from 1981 until 1988 and was named Women's Athletic Director in 1983. In 1990, Bailey became the Senior Associate Athletic Director at the University of Wisconsin, a position she held until 2005. She led the Wisconsin Athletic Department to gender equity compliance, and in 2004, she was appointed as the chair of the NCAA Women's Basketball Committee. Following her tenure at Wisconsin, she was named General Manager of the United States Women's Soccer National Team in 2007. She helped lead the United States to a gold medal at the 2008 Olympics and silver and bronze medals at the World Cup in 2011 and 2007, respectively. As general manager, she organized soccer clinics for national team members on the White House lawn for First Lady Michelle Obama's Let's Move campaign. She was the founding executive director of the National Women's Soccer League from 2012 to 2015, overseeing the first 2 seasons of the league. Cheryl Bailey is an inductee of the Chautauqua Sports Hall of Fame, the Section 6 New York State Public High School Hall of Fame, the Denison University Athletics Hall of Fame, the University of Wisconsin Hall of Fame, and tonight, she's one of the newest members of the Greater Buffalo Sports Hall of Fame.
Sponsoring the induction of Cheryl Bailey is the Western New York Flash Academy, represented by Alex Salen, president of Salen's Sports Park.
I want to first thank the Greater Buffalo Hall of Fame for this amazing honor that's bestowed on all of us up here, and certainly to the Salen family. As you can see, they've been great supporters in so many different ways, and we owe them a great deal of gratitude as well. I'm sure most of the honorees tonight, as well as many of you that are sitting out there, had an experience or a person or a situation happen in your life at some point in time that totally affected the path that you might go on down the road. And for me, that was Title IX. I was a junior in high school when Title IX was passed in 1972, and for the first time, I had the chance to participate on a varsity sport. However, our school didn't have any varsity sports for girls, and so that meant we had the chance to be a part of the boys program that existed. And I had the amazing good fortune to have coaches for the boys team that with open arms brought any of us girls who wanted to be a part of that team. And I have 2 of those coaches here tonight, head coach Tom Priester and Fran Sirianni, that I owe a great deal of gratitude. Their support and their encouragement is really what allowed me to begin the path towards athletics and the career that I had. After that, I had the chance for the very first time now to participate on a girls' varsity team at Slippery Rock. And I found out I was actually a pretty good runner, as a matter of fact, and I still hold 2 records there in the 100-yard dash and the 4x100-yard meters, or 100-yard dash as well. And frankly, I believe those records will stand forever because they don't run yards anymore. So not only did Title IX offer opportunities to participate, they also opened doors for coaching and for administration, and I had the good fortune to walk through those doors. And what you'll find along the way is it wasn't just Title IX, but it was a people that came alongside me to be able to propel the women that were going to be involved in sports. And so after college, I moved to the state of Ohio, and I called all the colleges in the area, and I said, if you ever need anybody to volunteer to help with any of your sports events, I'd be more than happy to do so. 2 weeks later, my good fortune was Denison University decided to start the first varsity soccer program for women in the state of Ohio in 1979. And they had my telephone number from just making that call. And so I was hired. They gave me a blank sheet of paper and said, would you please start a women's soccer team? Shortly after that, I became the track coach, and at the age of 26, I became the athletic director there. Title IX continued to open opportunities. And then as I was working on my PhD at Ohio State, unbeknownst to me, the women's administrator at Ohio State, Phyllis Bailey, and the women's assistant commissioner of the Big Ten, Phyllis Howlett, had both recommended me for the job at Wisconsin as a women's athletic director. Pat Richter, who was the brand new athletic director there, was willing to take a chance on a Division III athletic administrator and hired me for that job. That opened amazing opportunities for me, not only to serve on NCAA committees and eventually be able to run and chair the Women's Final Four. After leaving college administration and athletics, my mom had come down with cancer, I took a pause. And a year later, I got a call from Greg Ryan. He had been my soccer coach at the University of Wisconsin. And Greg called, knowing that I was no longer in athletics, and asked if I would be the general manager for the women's national soccer team. I really didn't know what that was, but I said, okay. So I went out to California, and I had the opportunity to work with the best soccer team in the world. Again, many of those women had that opportunity because of Title IX. So for 5 years, I traveled the world, had some wonderful experiences being around some of the best athletes. Then I took another pause. And then Dan Flynn, US soccer CEO, gave me a call and said, Cheryl, we'd like to start a women's professional soccer league. Would you be interested in being the executive director? Once again, I was handed a blank sheet of paper and had an opportunity to start, this time, a professional soccer league, which 11 years later is still going on. So I had, yeah, that's worth applauding. You can tell in each of the stops I made, it was the people that came alongside me and gave me unbelievable opportunities. So I will forever be thankful for those people that have charted the course for me. They are part of this award as well. My only hope is that Title IX will continue to provide the opportunities for girls and women that are out there now. There are some challenges to that right now with some of the participants in women's sports, but I hope that can get turned around, and you will once again have people up here that got a great foundation because of Title IX. So thank you very much for this opportunity.
Thank you, Cheryl. Well done. Well done, Cheryl. Nice job.
Thank you, Cheryl. Our next inductee in the class of 2023 is Dave Wollabaugh.
As a football standout at Frontier High School, Dave Wollabaugh earned first-team All-Western New York honors in 1989 for the Falcons. The Hamburg native continued his football career at Syracuse University. As a member of the Orange's offensive line, Wollabaugh started at guard as a junior, but transitioned to center as a senior, where he started every game of that season and was named second-team All-Big East. He was invited to both the Hula and East-West Shrine All-Star Bowls. Selected in the 4th round of the 1995 NFL Draft by the New England Patriots, he was named to the Pro Football Writers Association All-Rookie Team. He started every game over 4 years with the Patriots and was a member of the Pats AFC Championship in 1997 and appeared in Super Bowl 31. Wollabaugh was selected as the center for the New England Patriots All-1990s team, which was chosen by a group of writers, broadcasters, and team officials. He signed as a free agent with the expansion Cleveland Browns and played there from 1999 to 2002, then signed with the St. Louis Rams for 1 season and retired at the end of the 2003 season because of an injury. Wollabaugh participated in the NFL's Gold Football celebration for the 50-year anniversary of the Super Bowl. As part of the event, he returned to Frontier High School with the NFL's commemorative Gold Football, given to every high school that's produced a player or coach who has appeared in a Super Bowl. Dave Wollabaugh, forever enshrined in the Greater Buffalo Sports Hall of Fame.
How about us finding that picture of Dave holding the football, right? Was that a fumble recovery? Was that the only time you ever picked up the football? Yeah, there's maybe one or two. All right, there you go. Good work, guys. Sponsoring the induction of Dave are Syracuse University, represented by Dave Wollabaugh Jr. and the Cleveland Browns.
Thank you, everybody. I've been truly blessed, and I look back, and I've just had the opportunity to be around a ton of just significant, really, really good people that have impacted me over a long period of time. So I just want to start by saying thank you to the Greater Buffalo Sports Hall of Fame, the selection committee, and everybody that's been involved in making this truly a special night. It's really been a remarkable event for myself, and I can probably guess everybody else up here on stage as well. I truly am overwhelmed with gratitude and humility as I stand here with the other inductees of this class of 2023. This honor is not solely mine, but the tribute of the unwavering support and dedication of those who have been with me throughout my journey, which extends well beyond the world of football. First and foremost, I'd like to express the deepest gratitude to my family and parents, my brothers who encouraged me and supported me from an extremely early age. They beat me up a little bit probably along the way too, but we won't talk about that. My wife, Virginia, her love and encouragement has been a driving force behind any of my success. I honestly wouldn't be standing here today without her by my side. My three incredible boys, you saw my son David, but there's my oldest son Evan, my son Jack, and David Jr., obviously. They don't realize this, but they've been a huge inspiration in my life. Just them being there and being part of my life has pushed me to be a better person and strive to achieve, on and off the field. So I thank them for them, and I truly respect them. I'd also like to recognize two very special people here, my high school coaches, Paul Shaler and Terry Ostrander. They're actually able to be here with me tonight. Super special people. Their guidance and mentoring were extremely significant to me at a developmental time in my life. They saw some potential in a young guy. They helped foster that into opportunities and grow and develop that ultimately let me go on to Syracuse University and then ultimately play a 9-year career in the NFL, which is something that I never would have guessed at a young age. And I just can't thank them enough for just being there for me when they were, which is great. When I went on to Syracuse University, Coach Pasqualoni would always say, with team success comes individual honors. So I would like to say to my teammates, you've been there through thick and thin, sharing the successes and failures, and the camaraderie that we had has just enriched my life in ways that I could never repay. So I thank them for that, and this honor reflects a lot of their accomplishments as well. Regarding the game of football, it isn't just a game, it's a collective effort. It thrives on teamwork and contributions of countless others. But that collective effort extends beyond the playing field and the meeting rooms to the countless volunteers that seldomly get mentioned. What really made this honor special for me was once I got called, some time had passed, you start thinking a little bit more about the days you're playing, Hamburg Little League football, and you're at Frontier Central High School, and you're playing the games in the Western New York area. And you start remembering a lot of people that were really significant that made that such a great environment, such a great experience, and gave you those opportunities that made you want to go back and made that want to become part of your life on a bigger scale. So I thank them for that because their commitment to the sport and the community is truly commendable. Without their dedication, my journey and the journey of many others would have been far less rewarding. So thank you for that. And then as I stand here today, I am aware that this achievement is not solely about me, but a reflection of those many lives intertwined with my own. I am humbled by the recognition from the Greater Buffalo Sports Hall of Fame. I thank you all for being part of my journey, and I am deeply grateful for the support and love that has brought me to this moment. Thank you for this incredible honor.
The piece of inductee trivia for you. Dave now joins Al B. Miller as the second Syracuse University center to be inducted in the Greater Buffalo Sports Hall of Fame. Our next inductee, give those offensive linemen don't get enough glory. Give them one more round of applause. Our next inductee into the class of 2023 is Santo Desane.
Santo Desane attended Erie Community College, where he played basketball and baseball. He continued his education, earning his bachelor's degree from SUNY Brockport before returning to ECC as an instructor, administrator, and coach. Desane guided the Cats baseball team to its first National Junior College Athletic Association Region 3 championship in 1977. In 1980, he expanded his portfolio, becoming the head coach for softball and women's basketball. His softball teams won 2 NJCAA national championships, 7 Region 3 titles, and 12 conference championships. Under his coaching, the softball program produced 19 All-Americans, 42 All-Region 3, and 39 All-Conference players. Santo was twice named NJCAA National Softball Coach of the Year. Desane's basketball team won 6 consecutive conference championships and was named NJCAA Region 3 Basketball Coach of the Year 3 times. As an instructor, Desane's educational philosophy was that the classroom should be a place for an open and honest exchange of ideas. He believed academics and athletics go hand in hand, and many of his student athletes achieved academic All-American status, and many also continued their careers, earning Division I and II scholarships. The Penn York Conference Championship Trophy was named in his honor, and the softball field at Erie Community College was named the Santo Desane Softball Field in 2008. Santo believed that Erie Community College served Western New York, and his team rosters were primarily comprised of Western New York athletes, providing a sense of unity and pride for his teams. Santo has been inducted into the Western New York Softball Hall of Fame, the NJCAA National Coaches Hall of Fame, the Erie Community College Hall of Fame, and the Lyons School District Hall of Fame. In 2012, 2 of his national championship teams were also inducted into the Erie Community College Hall of Fame, and tonight, Santo Desane is forever enshrined in the Greater Buffalo Sports Hall of Fame.
Sponsoring the induction is the ECC Foundation, represented by Executive Director Jenna Bickler and Vice Chairman Paul LaManna.
Good evening. I'd like to express my gratitude to the Hall of Fame Committee for honoring my family and myself in this fashion. And I would like to thank the ECC Foundation, Jenna Bickler, and Paul LaManna for sponsoring me this evening. When I received the phone call from John Maddock that I had been selected to the Hall of Fame, I was speechless. I mean, I had the phone to my ear, my mouth was open, I could hear John, but I couldn't say anything. A couple of times John said, "Hey Santo, are you there? I think we dropped the call. I think we lost the call." And my wife Kathy was looking at me going, "What's the matter? What happened? What's wrong?" Finally got it together and thanked John for this incredible honor. I grew up in a very small community that very few people here probably are familiar with. That's Slatersville, New York. My sister Emma and my brother Tony and I grew up in a loving home with guidance from 2 wonderful parents who taught us 2 important lessons. One was that you meet challenges face on and you never shirk responsibility. Sports was always a topic of conversation in our household, and it went a long way to helping me decide what kind of career I wanted once I graduated from high school. Now, Slatersville had a population of less than 100, and half of the houses in Slatersville were occupied by Desanes, so some of us like to call it Desaneville. If you grew up in Slatersville, you went to school in Lyons, New York. Wonderful community, wonderful people, wonderful memories, and friends. It was in Lyons High School where I met my wife, Kathy. Well, actually, we met in the 8th grade. We experienced high school together, college, and graduate school. She is the nucleus of our family. She's the one we all go to for advice, guidance, and perspective. If it were not for Kathy, I would not be receiving this honor this evening. This past June, we celebrated our 54th wedding anniversary. I am the 7th person associated with Erie Community College to be inducted into the Greater Buffalo Sports Hall of Fame. And there's one common thread that runs through all 7 people. And that common thread is Ralph Galante. Ralph was the athletic director at Erie Community College for, I believe, better than 3 decades. And during that time, he created opportunities and established one of the best respected junior college programs in the United States. And in fact, it's his strong commitment to women's sports and Title IX that created the opportunity for my career. I think all of the other inductees on the dais tonight, and I congratulate all of them for their wonderful accomplishments, and it's an honor to be inducted with such a distinguished group. But I believe they would all agree that none of us got here on our own. We all had help. We all had people that helped us, guided us, and encouraged us. And for me, it was a strong family, some very influential teachers, wonderful friends, and Erie Community College colleagues. At Erie, we were truly a family. So tonight, although I am receiving this award and receiving this recognition, I do not go into the hall on my own. I take with me tonight into the Greater Buffalo Sports Hall of Fame my family, student athletes who always represented ECC and Western New York with pride, the ECC athletic staff who so generously gave of their time and continuously went above and beyond to help the entire department, my assistant coaches, and my friends who were forever supportive. As I am inducted tonight, they are also honored. Thank you all for supporting the hall. Thank you very much.
Our next inductee into the class of 2023 is Drake Franciscone.
A graduate of Kenmore West High School, Indiana University, and later Niagara University, Drake Franciscone had a 34-year career as a physical education teacher in the city of Buffalo, including 23 years of incredible coaching success at City Honors, transforming the Centaurs athletics program into a regional powerhouse. In 1980, Franciscone began building the women's volleyball program and led undefeated teams to 4 consecutive state championships in the early 1990s. It was the first time a Buffalo City school had won 4 straight state crowns in any sport. His co-ed swimming, tennis, and cross-country teams went years without losing. The softball program became an unparalleled success, and his men's basketball team won 3 sectional titles, 2 regionals, and were state runners-up in 2002 and champions in the state Class C title in 2003. During his distinguished tenure at City Honors, Francis Scone coached 6 different sports, and he won 49 city championships, 12 Section 6 championships, 8 Far West Regional championships, and 5 state championships. Yet, he always considered his greatest accomplishment to be the number of student athletes who went on to collegiate careers, and more so, success in later life. He was awarded the key to the city of Buffalo by Mayor James D. Griffin, and he was inducted into the New York State Public High School Hall of Fame in 2003 and the inaugural Section 6 Hall of Fame in 2014. When Francis Scone passed away in 2011 at the age of 63, his father, Joseph R. Francis Scone, established a scholarship in Drake's name at City Honors. The award includes an $8,000 yearly stipend to a student athlete selected by the school's athletic department who has demonstrated the values of athletics, scholarship, and community service that Coach Fran demanded of his athletes. To date, the scholarship has distributed nearly $100,000 to deserving graduates. Drake Francis Scone, forever enshrined in the Greater Buffalo Sports Hall of Fame.
Sponsoring the induction are the Buffalo Bisons, represented by Tom Burns, Bison's PA announcer, and accepting the award on Drake's behalf, his longtime friend, Jim Duggan. What, 2 minutes?
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Thank you. Proud to be here. Drake Francis Scone's approach to coaching back in the 80s and the 90s was what some might today consider draconian, or, as he would say, draconian. If nothing else, his coaching methods were controversial. His game demeanor was often gruff, and his intensity was legendary. But he took that methodology to 7 different sports and won championships in all. He evoked tears of anger and frustration from his players, but typically tears of joy at the end of season banquets. He insisted that the guys on his basketball teams wear shirts and ties to school on game days, and he succeeded in instilling a sense of pride where once it did not exist. I'm not certain that he could use his methods in today's world, but I am certain that he could use and would have adapted, and in typical Coach Fran way, be better prepared than any of his opponents. How appropriate that tonight, some 20 years removed from his retirement, some 12 years removed from his untimely death, we honor him. Were my friend here, and in many ways he still is, he would graciously thank the Greater Buffalo Sports Hall of Fame, the selection committee. He would be humbled to be in the presence of such greatness, his predecessors, and those distinguished members of this year's class. I say that he is here in many ways because his influence on the lives of the students whom he taught and the athletes whom he coached lives on in a very real sense. His presence in my life and that of my family resounds with regularity. He would point to the many friends whom he accrued through sport and through teaching, and he would be proud that a piece of his memory lives on through them. He would laud his upbringing in the town of Tonawanda, his mom and dad, Dolorita and Big Joe, and the love of his life, dear Sandy. And then he would doff his Craigburn golf cap and say goodnight with his trademark, "Thank you for your kindness." Thank you. Thank you.
Our next inductee into the class of 2023 is Bob Chandler.
A standout wide receiver at the University of Southern California, Bobby Chandler was a team captain for the Trojans and was named MVP of the Rose Bowl in his junior year. Drafted in the 7th round by the Buffalo Bills in 1971, Chandler saw limited action in his rookie season, finishing the season with just 5 receptions for 60 yards. However, under new Bills head coach Lou Saban, Chandler began to see more playing time in his second season. He started all 14 games and scored his first professional touchdown in a 38-14 blowout over the New England Patriots. Over the next several seasons, he became a favorite target of quarterback Joe Ferguson. In the 3 seasons from 1975 to 1977, Chandler led the NFL in receptions and twice earned second-team All-Pro. He was traded to Oakland following the 1979 season and played 3 seasons for the Raiders, including their Super Bowl 15 championship season. Chandler still ranks among the Buffalo Bills' all-time receiving leaders. He's 5th in receiving touchdowns by a receiver, 6th in average yards per reception, 9th in total yards receiving, and 10th in receptions with 295. He retired from the NFL following the 1982 season and finished his career with 370 receptions for 5,243 yards and 48 touchdowns. In 1996, USC established the annual Bob Chandler Award, which is presented to an underclassman based on his athletic ability, academic scholarship, as well as character on and off the field. Bobby Chandler passed away in January of 1995, following a 4-month battle with cancer. He was inducted into the USC Hall of Fame in 1999, and tonight, Bob Chandler joins the elite members of the Greater Buffalo Sports Hall of Fame.
Sponsoring the induction are the Buffalo Bills, represented by Jordan McCarron, Vice President of Marketing, and accepting the award are Bob Chandler's daughter, Marissa Chandler Jameson, Bob's wife, Marilyn Chandler, and son, Justin Chandler.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Marissa Chandler, and I'm Bob's oldest daughter. Standing here with me is my mom, Marilyn, my brother, Justin, and our godmother and close family friend who's been with us through all of this, Marla. Our family would like to thank you all for helping to keep my dad's memory and spirit alive with his induction into the Greater Buffalo Sports Hall of Fame. And we would love to give special thanks to John Boutte for helping to make this happen. Most of you know all of the impressive stats on my dad, but I just want to take a moment to let you know a little more about him as a person. He was a true warrior, not only on the football field, but in his everyday life as well. No matter what sport or endeavor he was involved in, he played the game of life with honor, dignity, and a commitment to excellence. He was a fighter who coexisted with pain and never gave up, no matter what. Even at the end of his life, when he was diagnosed with terminal cancer, he kept fighting, never willing to throw in the towel just yet. When I came back for the press conference last June, I was greeted by various people with so many stories and memories and pictures they wanted to share with me. This has been a very emotional year for me personally, as I turned 45, the same age my dad was when he died in 1995. And being here in Buffalo to accept this for him has been incredibly meaningful. As Ernest Hemingway wisely said, every man has 2 deaths, when he is buried in the ground and the last time someone says his name. I know that here in Buffalo, Bob Chandler will never die. Thank you for continuing to say his name and share your stories. Never stop. My dad may not visibly be here to receive this great honor, but we know in our hearts that he stands here among us, looking out at all of you and thanking you for recognizing him tonight. And knowing him and his mischievous sense of humor, he is standing here among us saying with a smile, "What took you guys so long?" Thank you.
Our next inductee into the Greater Buffalo Sports Hall of Fame class of 2023 is Adam Page.
A native of Buffalo, Adam Page was born with hydrocephalus and spina bifida, a birth defect caused by incomplete formation of the vertebrae. Despite the challenges of 10 separate surgeries, Page grew up loving hockey and began playing sled hockey at the age of 6 with the Buffalo Sabres. He continued to develop his sled hockey skills and made his debut on the 2007-08 U.S. National Sled Hockey Team as the youngest member of the squad at age 15. He made his first Paralympic team in 2010 in Vancouver. As a member of the USA's Paralympic sled hockey team, Page is a 3-time gold medalist, 2010, 2014, and 2018. He has won a silver medal with Team USA at the 2017 World Championships. In total, he won 3 gold, 2 silver, and 1 bronze at the World Championships from 2008 through 2017. Page continues to be an inspiration for individuals throughout the community, and he co-founded the Sled Hockey Foundation, a nonprofit organization that provides individuals with impairments the opportunity to take part in para-ice hockey. Page also enjoys a number of other activities, including swimming, wheelchair lacrosse, and playing golf. In addition to his success as a para-hockey player, he's been active in the Lounsbury Ski Adaptive Program at Holiday Valley and has been mono-skiing for more than a dozen years. Adam Page, forever enshrined in the Greater Buffalo Sports Hall of Fame.
Sponsoring the induction is the New York State Amateur Hockey Association, represented by Executive Director Eric Guzdeck.
Okay, first, I just want to thank Tom Napoli and Steve Warzella for gifting the suit that I'm wearing tonight. There's actually a pretty cool design inside the lining. It's a bunch of sled hockey pictures of myself. So I just want to thank them for doing that. It's really awesome. And also just want to thank Greater Buffalo Hall of Fame committee for this incredible honor. And when I was born with spina bifida, growing up with a disability, I never could have imagined I'd be standing in front of you tonight. Spina bifida is a birth defect that is the incomplete formation of the spinal cord. I'm paralyzed from the knees down. My doctors told my parents that I would have limitations. We never looked at those. We only saw what I could do and what I could accomplish. My parents, my family, my coaches, my teachers, some of which are here tonight, all believed in my potential to be successful in life. In elementary school, I was fortunate enough to have a gym teacher, Mrs. Marks. She believed I had the ability to participate alongside my classmates. She adapted every lesson so that I could participate in every class. She made sure that I never felt left out and didn't feel any different than any of my other peers. For this, I want to thank Mrs. Marks from the bottom of my heart, who was also here tonight. My love for sports didn't stop there. It only grew. I really loved the game of hockey and wanted to find an adaptive form of the sport. My parents were able to find sled hockey, and I started playing at the age of 6. I just knew it was the sport for me. At the age of 15, I made the U.S. men's national team and got to travel all over the world, competing in 6 world championships and 3 Paralympic Winter Games, winning 3 gold medals in each of those. I also wanted to thank Mr. Keller and St. Mary's High School that gave me so much support and allowed me to live my dream while playing sled hockey. My principal at the time, Mrs. Kranz, would Skype with me on overseas trips with math lessons because I wasn't so great at math. And that was just pretty special to have a school and that believed in me and wanted me to see my dreams through, so just wanted to thank them. Being a Paralympic athlete, representing my country, wearing red, white, and blue has been a dream come true. This would not have been possible without the Buffalo Sabres sled hockey organization. They provided me with the opportunity to play the sport that I love. Realizing all that I was given, I wanted to give back to my community and create sports opportunities for youth, adults, veterans with disabilities. In 2015, we created the Sled Hockey Foundation, which gave athletes with disabilities access to the sport. To have a greater impact in the community, we are now the Greater Buffalo Adaptive Sports Foundation and offer 8 different adaptive sports. In the audience tonight, we have our volunteers, coaches, and some of our athletes from our foundation. And I want to thank each and every one of you for all that you do for us. We couldn't do it without you. I also want to thank all of our generous donors for contributing to the foundation and believing in what we do. I also want to recognize New York State Amateur Hockey for being my sponsor tonight. And congratulations to all the other inductees. I'm grateful to be standing here before you tonight and accept this incredible honor of being inducted in the Buffalo Sports Hall of Fame. Thank you.
Adam, can you open up your jacket and show the
Yeah,
camera?
yeah.
Yeah.
Here,
Adam's going to open up the jacket and show everybody the pictures on the inside. Show it to the camera. That's awesome. John, is it okay if next year I dump the tuxedo and I wear a suit that has the pictures of all the inductees on the inside? All right, John has given me permission. I'm going to do that next year. We do want to acknowledge the past presidents of the Greater Buffalo Sports Hall of Fame that are in attendance here tonight. Steve Omer, Brian Kavanaugh, and Greg Merkel. Give them a nice round of applause for helping lay the foundation and the groundwork of this great event. We'd also like to take a moment to thank veteran sportscaster Howard Simon and WIVB's Tara Lynch for providing their skills in narrating our inductee videos this year. Tara is the granddaughter of longtime board member Denny Lynch. Tara, thank you for being here. Howard, thanks for your work as always. Our next inductee into the class of 2023 is Kara Hahn Raybaum.
Before entering Canisius College, Kara Hahn Raybaum was a standout four-sport athlete at Irondequoit High School. She was a 3-time All-County selection and the Times Union Player of the Year in 1980. A 3-time All-American member of the Golden Griffins women's basketball team, she graduated as the college's all-time leading scorer and rebounder. Hahn Raybaum is still among the program's top 10 in several categories. She is the only Golden Griffin cager, men's or women's, in the 1,000-point 1,000 rebound club. She helped lead the Griffs to the program's first National Association for Intercollegiate Athletics for Women tournament in 1982, before qualifying in the NCAA National Women's Basketball Tournament in 1983. Under the coaching of Greater Buffalo Sports Hall of Fame inductees Sister Maria Perez and Michael Rappel, Canisius went 91-28 during Hahn Raybaum's career. After graduation, she played professionally for the Atlanta Comets of the Women's American Basketball Association in its only season of existence. Hahn Raybaum returned to Canisius in 1986 as an assistant coach and was named head coach of her alma mater in 1993. In her second season, she guided the Griffs to a 19-8 record and was named Coach of the Year by the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference and the Converse Basketball Coaches Association of New York. She has spent the last 19 years as an assistant athletic director at Hilbert College and coached the Hawks basketball program for 5 seasons. In 2018, Hilbert honored her with the Mother Colette Award. Han Raybaum is an inductee of the Canisius Sports Hall of Fame and the Section 5 Basketball Hall of Fame. She was inducted into the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame as part of the 2014 Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference Honor Roll class, and in 2011, she was recognized again by Canisius as a member of the 1982-1983 women's basketball team. Tonight, Cara Han Raybaum takes her place in the Greater Buffalo Sports Hall of Fame.
Sponsoring the induction are Canisius University, represented by Lisa Leota, Deputy Director of Athletics, and Hilbert University, represented by Athletic Director Tim Seil.
Thank you. Get my breath. First, I'd like to start by congratulating all the other inductees tonight. I feel very humbled to be in their presence, outstanding athletes and administrators. In addition, I'd like to thank the Greater Buffalo Sports Hall of Fame for their continued support and recognition of the great people in Western New York. And my sponsors, this is a hard one to say, Canisius University, it should be college, and Hilbert College, as well as my host, Leo Kaminsky, who carried me through to the finish line. Since I know what it's like sitting out there waiting for the last speakers to finish, I'm going to stay on script, and I'm trying to make this as fast as possible. But it's not about me, it's about other people. My honors and achievements were the result of a total team commitment and trust within the many teams I've played on or coached. I must thank my Lady Griff family. Many of you are here tonight, but I also must recognize, for the third time you're hearing it, the Title IX ladies that started programs and gave us opportunities. I did grow up in that sweet spot where I'd never heard no, but I was a Title IX product, and I had opportunities that I didn't know weren't available to me in the past. So I thank people up here and other former teammates that started it in the late 70s. I owe a lot to Barb Field and Karen Jakimiak and Dennis Butler. They recruited me to Canisius. They found me in the summers playing for Empire State Games because there was no recruiting events for women, and I just connected with them. Then there are the two Greater Buffalo Sports Hall of Fame coaches you've heard of and you've seen, Sister Maria and Mike Rappel. They took over our program my sophomore year, and things just clicked. They inherited a team of personalities and a lot of talent. Thank you to my teammates over the years. We all came from different backgrounds, but we were always on the same page. And this is the only story that I will share, and we were told to share stories. Paul Lamanna, I thank you that you're still here. Our team was blessed in that we had support from a local watering hole. And if things were not going well for us, the owners of the bar, Paul Lamanna and Bob McDonald came to us at halftime and told us that we needed to pick up the slack, and if we won, we would have a keg at the bar in the end of the evening. So that was pretty much our existence. We competed hard and we partied hard. I must also recognize the support we received from our parents and other students on campus. It was truly a magical time in my life that has been very difficult to replicate. It meant everything to me to be able to return to Canisius and serve as an assistant coach, and then as the head coach in 1993. I had just given birth 3 days earlier and was just shy of celebrating my 1-year anniversary. To say I entered a whirling tornado was an understatement, but I did have an incredible support system in place. I owe all my professional success to my husband, John, who has given up so much for me in 31 years of marriage. He knew what he was getting into when we met, and for a while, I think at least, he really liked it. Until 2 kids came along in 4 years, and I was never home focusing on him. I thank him for letting me continue to give 110% effort to my time-consuming and emotionally draining jobs over the years. I have to say that his parents, Bernie and Audrey Raybaum, took the pressure off of me for being perfect. I can't imagine doing it over again without that Riverside Raybaum pride. To my kids, Connor and Hannah. Connor isn't here, Hannah's in front. You've traveled my path from the moment you were born, going on recruiting trips and living in gyms as you learned to walk. I thank you for giving me purpose and allowing me to see collegiate sports through the eyes of a parent's point of view. Those years really helped me balance my decisions that I make now as a college administrator. I can't forget my brother Eric, or my sisters Michelle, Lisa, and Alex, as well as the multiple cousins who have come in to help celebrate, and the many friends who have traveled in tonight. My athletic events growing up sometimes drove the family agenda, but my folks George and Joan Burke kept things loose with a lot of love and a lot of laughter. And lastly, please let me thank all of you for attending and supporting the Greater Buffalo Sports Hall of Fame dinner and everything they do for our community. We should all continue to lend a hand to others and try to make this world a nicer place to live. Thank you.
Our next inductee into the class of 2023 is Jerry Meehan.
Drafted by the Toronto Maple Leafs in 1963, Jerry Meehan was a member of the Memorial Cup champion Toronto Marlboros in 1964 and 1967. Meehan joined the expansion Buffalo Sabres and played in the first game in Sabres history on October 10, 1970 at Pittsburgh, and registered the first assist and first minor penalty in Sabres history. Meehan finished that season with 24 goals and 55 points, earning him votes for the league's Hart Trophy. Meehan later served as team captain for 3 seasons before being traded to the Vancouver Canucks. Meehan retired following the 1979 season with 180 goals and 423 points in 670 games. Following his retirement, Meehan earned his undergraduate degree at then Canisius College and his law degree from the University of Buffalo School of Law. He practiced sports, corporate, and immigration law at Cohen Suedos, where he worked on player contracts with Sabres coach and general manager Scotty Bowman. In 1984, Bowman hired Meehan to serve as the team's assistant general manager. He was promoted to GM when Bowman stepped down during the 1986-87 season. As the team's GM, Meehan acquired top-caliber players, including #1 draft pick Pierre Turgeon, Soviet defector Alex McGillney, Dale Hawerchuk, Pat LaFontaine, and Dominic Hasek. In 1993, Meehan was named the Sabres Executive Vice President of Sports Operations. Jerry left the Sabres organization in 1996, but he returned to Western New York in 2019 as special counsel to the University at Buffalo School of Law's Center for the Advancement of Sport, which has partnered with UB's School of Engineering and Applied Sciences to develop a micro-credential in sports law and data analytics. Tonight, Jerry Meehan takes his place alongside former teammates and colleagues in the Greater Buffalo Sports Hall of Fame.
Sponsoring the induction of Jerry Meehan are the Buffalo Sabres, represented by Dave Zigai, Vice President of Legal Affairs.
Hi. It's nice being here tonight. It's an incredible honor. Congratulations to all the other inductees, and especially thank you to the board of the Greater Buffalo Sports Hall of Fame for honoring me in this fashion. I'm going to share my thoughts with you about a few things that happened along the way. First of all, I want to recognize my family in supporting me in all my efforts as an athlete and as an executive for a team and in my law practice. The life of a professional athlete and the team general manager can be somewhat disruptive at times to family life. And yet my wife, Morella, and my kids, Dan, Adam, and Kate, were with me all the way. And if they ever have a Hockey-wise Sports Hall of Fame, my wife will be one of the first inductees. Thank you, Morella and kids, for all your help. I arrived in Buffalo in 1970 thanks to Punch Imlach. We all remember Punch. He sure knew how to build hockey teams. Coming here as a draft out of the Toronto Maple Leafs and Philadelphia Flyers organizations with brief stints in the National Hockey League. Coming to Buffalo in that expansion draft gave me a chance to get on to a 12-year career as a professional athlete and almost 700 games in the NHL. So I'm very grateful for Punch. And by the way, the Buffalo community was amazing in accepting our team at that time and continues to do that today, and I congratulate the Buffalo community for doing that for us. Players in the 70s made somewhat generous salaries for the time, but not enough to live on for the rest of their lives. And with a wife and 3 kids at age 32, I had to do something with my life. And fortunately, I had the guidance of some local people to help me along the way. You may remember Tony Colucci and Carmela Colucci, who were great benefactors of both Canisius College and the University of Buffalo Law School. They both encouraged me to finish my undergrad degree at Canisius and my law degree at the University of Buffalo, and that led to the next stage of my career, which ended up being practicing law with the Sabres law firm. That led to an introduction to Scotty Bowman, who brought me into the organization, along with Seymour Knox and his brother Norty, who recognized an opportunity to bring one of the first player into their organization as part of their executive team. So I'm forever grateful to Scotty, Seymour, Norty Knox, and Bob Swadas for that involvement. When I became general manager of the Sabres, I realized it was a very special opportunity to help build a team of excellence and good performance. And doing that was something that basically required teamwork. And teamwork for a sports executive starts with who helps you along the way. And I was privileged to have the assistance of people, some of them who are here tonight, along that path. Don Luce, our amateur head of scouting, Craig Ramsey. Terry Martin was an assistant coach with us and worked in the minors. Don Lever, John Tortorella, my coaches. Rick Dudley, Ted Sater, and John Muckler all had a huge influence on my efforts to help the Sabres become a really good team. It'd be impossible to mention all the players who I brought into this team and who I helped bring along as players. Some of them are very well known and some have been mentioned here, but it's not just the superstars that make a team what it is. It's also the specialty players and the role players and the secondary players that have to make life easier for the superstars. So I want to congratulate and thank all the players that I had in my organizations over the years. I think they know who they are and they should be celebrated tonight as well as I am. I want to thank the Sabres especially for sponsoring a table tonight, and thank you, Dave, for your introduction and your honoring of this. And I want to also mention the University of Buffalo's Nellie Drew, Pete Mioski, and her husband Paul, who generously are sponsoring a table tonight. And there's plenty of people here that are here on their behalf as well. To my fellow inductees, you are the inspiration to all of us. Many of you have spent your lives not in pursuit of fame or financial gain, but in service to the community. And especially, it's the young athletes that you brought along to make our lives as parents and coaches and executives more rewarding. To those who gained professional elite status as athletes and coaches, who some of whom are here tonight, your accomplishments are what inspire our youth to excel both athletically and as students. Congratulations to all of you. Finally, thanks to the board,
and the Selection Committee of the Greater Buffalo Sports Hall of Fame for the honor of being recognized as having made a meaningful contribution to life in Western New York, which, as I recall, has been voted the nicest city in the country. Thank you, Buffalo. Thank you, board. Thank everybody for being here tonight, and look forward to being here next year to help other people get the same honor. Thank you.
Our final inductee into the Greater Buffalo Sports Hall of Fame class of 2023 is Eric Moulds.
Eric Moulds was drafted by the Buffalo Bills in the first round in the 1996 NFL Draft. Despite being stuck on the depth chart behind Andre Reed and Quinn Early, Moulds was named to the Pro Football Writers of America All-Rookie Team in 1996. He continued to gain experience, and the former Mississippi State standout had a breakout season for the Bills in 1998. During that year, he set a single-season team record with 1,368 receiving yards, which also led the AFC and was second in the NFL. In 2002, he became the first Bills player with 100 receptions in a single season. In his 8 seasons as the Bills' #1 receiver, Moulds had 626 receptions for 8,523 yards, which was 7th most in the NFL during that period. During that time, he also averaged 78.25 catches and 1,065 yards per season. Moulds also set an NFL playoff record with 240 receiving yards against the Miami Dolphins. He spent the last 2 seasons with the Houston Texans and the Tennessee Titans. He is currently second all-time for the Buffalo Bills in receptions, receiving yards, and touchdown receptions. Moulds was a model of durability for the Bills, only missing 6 games in his 10 years with the team. Moulds was named second-team All-Pro twice, played on 3 Pro Bowl squads, and was one of only 3 receivers named to the Buffalo Bills' 50th anniversary all-time team in 2009. And tonight, Eric Moulds is forever enshrined in the Greater Buffalo Sports Hall of Fame.
I bet even all you good Bills fans didn't remember he took a kickoff return back for a touchdown as one of his career scores. Sponsoring the induction of Eric Moulds is Hightower Advisors, represented by Thomas Volpini, the managing director.
Thank you, guys. First, I would like to say thank you to the Greater Buffalo Sports Hall of Fame for inducting me. You guys are amazing. To the other inductees, you guys are tremendous. Getting to know you guys has been a pleasure for me. For you younger generation that don't really know who I am, I'm the guy that ordered a pizza in college because I was hungry, and you probably have to get your parents to tell you that story. But I'm extremely grateful for this honor. Is Woody and Bud Carpenter still here? These 2 gentlemen is the reason I only missed 6 games in my career out of 12 years playing football. I remember Bud Carpenter talking to our rookie group. It was about 30 guys, and Bud came in and said, if you guys listen to me, you'll play a long time here. Well, after 10 years, I was the only guy that listened because I was the only player still here. So I appreciate you, Bud. Before I get started, I would like to thank a lot of people that were very, very influential in my career. A lot of people here in Buffalo. Tom Volpini, who you just saw, been tremendous, like a father figure to me. Derek Bach, Susan McKinley, who I cannot function without since I got drafted here. Debbie, Holly, my cousin Larry, who talks a lot, who's actually a Cowboys fan that I really don't appreciate too much. But my best friend Wesley Taylor, Bill Dalton, my really good friend Frank Latempio, his dad, Mr. Latempio Sr., Terry Latempio. So these people have been so influential in my career and me being in Buffalo. I would like to also give thanks to my college coaches, Jackie Sherrill, who walked into my door in 1992 and said, I think you can be just as good as guys that I coach like Dan Marino, Tony Dorsett, if you come to Mississippi State. He believed in me from day one, and I got an opportunity to play for a great coach, and he led me to this city where I'm at now. I also like to give thanks to Bruce Arians, who was my offensive coordinator for 4 years at Mississippi State, the coach that won a Super Bowl for the Tampa Bay Bucks recently. I would like to give thanks to, first off, I'd like to give thanks to this guy, Ralph Wilson Jr., who, without him, I wouldn't be before you right now. He believed in me, and he said, you know what, I want this guy from Mississippi State, and he was one of the big reasons I was drafted here. I also like to give a thanks to the late, great John Butler, who was our general manager that drafted me, and for Marv Levy believing in me and saying that I could be special. Usually when you draft a guy first round, you want that player to be a decade player. I played 10 years here, never really wanted to leave, but I knew my time was up. I got to play with a lot of Hall of Famers, from Andre Reed to Jim Kelly on down to Bruce Smith. So I was very fortunate. Even coming from Mississippi before I got to Buffalo, I was fortunate to work out with Jerry Rice, hang out with Walter Payton, hang out with Brett Favre, guys from my state and my area that I grew up watching, but I could touch and feel them. So when I grew up there, I really wanted to feel that, what it's like to be Walter Payton. And he said, through hard work, you can do these things. And I stand before you today with that hard work and get an opportunity to play for a great city like Buffalo. I'm fortunate for that. I also like to give a shout out to all my quarterbacks that I played. I'm not going to say all their names because it's like 20, 30 of them. But Doug Flutie, he's to this day we still talk. He and Drew Bledsoe, myself, we talk every week, and I got an opportunity to play with two great guys. Jim Kelly, I still talk to him, and I was fortunate to play with different quarterbacks because I learned a lot from each one of those guys. And I'm extremely grateful and fortunate to have them in my life. Also I want to tell you guys a story. I talked to Andre Reed tonight, and I got his blessing before I said I was going to tell this story. So this was something that happened during the game. I'm a rookie, and the coaches always said, do not talk to Jim Kelly, let him be Jim Kelly. So I knew that coming in. I said, okay, I'll never talk to Jim Kelly. So we were running a play, and Jim Kelly came to me and said, I need your speed. He never called me Mose, he called me Mosey. He said, Mosey, I need your speed. I want you to go in the slot and just blow the doors off, and we're going to try to hit Andre on the dig route. Well, I said, good. I was just happy to get in the game. So I got in, I blew the doors off, and Andre came on a dig, and he stopped. He read the coverage wrong, and Jim threw an interception. So we go to the sideline, and Charlie Joyner, who's a Hall of Fame player, was our receivers coach. I was standing next to him, and so Jim came and said, hey, Charlie, you got to go tell Andre he can't stop on that. I just threw an interception. And Charlie didn't want to go talk to Andre because Andre sat by himself, and so Charlie looked at me and said, Eric, you're the rookie, you got to go tell Andre. I'm like, what? So I said, okay, I'm going to go tell Andre. So I look back, and the entire team is looking at me. So I took a breath, I said, Andre, he was like, what? Jim said, you can't stop on that route because he wants you to keep going. He looked at me in the eye, and he said, you go tell that MF I said throw it where I'm at, not where I'm supposed to be. So I looked back at the coaches, and I said, Andre said he'll get it next time. So I was fortunate to play with a lot of great players, and I don't want to take a lot of you guys' time, but this is my home, this is my city, a guy that grew up in Mississippi, came here in 1996, lived here for 15 years, still come back. Really enjoy the people. When I tell you, when they say it's the city of great neighbors, I really mean that. Everybody in Buffalo has embraced me, my family, my friends, and to this day, when I come back here, I really feel like this is home. And I won't take up too much more of your time, but I really appreciate you guys, and thank you.
Good job, Eric. Well done.
Aren't you glad, Eric, that the pizza story happened before social media? Although you might have gotten one heck of an NIL deal with Papa John's for something like that. Good work, Eric. Good work to everyone. This has been an amazing night with an amazing group of people up here. I'm going to ask the inductees to meet us at the trophy below me in front of the stage. and proceed to the reception area to meet with their family and their friends. And as we wait for them to make their way down there, let's give this amazing class one more big round of applause. Congratulations to all of our inductees this evening. Thanks to all of you for joining us to honor them and your undying support of the Greater Buffalo Sports Hall of Fame. We will see you with another amazing class next year. Thank you, everyone, and have a great night. We would request that everyone please make their way to the reception area, please. You can connect with your Hall of Fame friends and families in the reception area, please. Thank you.